John, I think we can start.
I'm just starting my Perceval introduction. If you have any question on the background, it's the moment. And then I will now talk about the Perceval itself, the software that we'll be using to implement circuits and to make to make algorithm. So first, what is Perceval? So I made some automatic translation, so my quotation might not be the good, but Perceval actually is the name of the youngest of the Arthur, King Arthur knights. So you know that the Arthur legend, which is a very old legend that is in the European mythology, where we have the knights of the Arthur king that are looking for the Grail. Grail is something a bit mystical, and they are spending their life to look for the Grail. And Perceval is actually the only knight that's find the Grail, but it's a bit of mishappening because he find the Grail, but he don't know that it's the Grail, so he leaves, and then he is not able to come back and to find it again. But when he meets, when he finds the Grail is described as a super bright source of light. And so I don't know if it is so this is what Chrétien de Troyes, who is the author, who wrote that in 12th century of this legend, right? He says that when the Grail arrive in the room, it is so bright that the candles of the light of the candle is simply disappearing. Like you don't see the moon on the star when the sun is rising. So it is really this idea that the Grail was this super bright source of light. So we decided that it was a good name for Candela framework, which is producing a source of light that are super bright too. So this is for his history. Practically, Perceval is a framework, open source framework that has been released in 2022. I'm the one who wrote the initial version of the framework, and this framework is for discrete variable photonic quantum computing. So we are not talking about continuous variable photonic quantum computing, the type of photonic quantum computing that Xanadu is doing. We are only doing about discrete variables, single photons. And it's meant to do three things. It's meant to do simulation of a quantum circuit, design of algorithm, and experimentation. Experimentation on QPU, experimentation of simulators. So there's been a lot of release of Perceval since the initial release in 2022. Almost every other month there is a release. So each release is named after some part of the legend of Perceval. And so we have released this summer some release that is called Avalon Island. So what is interesting and what you need to look at when you are using Perceval is to look at the version that you are using, so you know what are the features available, and I will show you where you can find that. So you have the full documentation of the Perceval, which is online, so perceval.candela.net. I will be sharing the slide deck, so you will be able to go through that and have all the material. You have also another entry point for the Perceval, which is Candela Cloud, where you can log in and get some account to use a simulator or QPU, and we give some real-time availability of the QPU and simulators that you can see on the main page. Today at Candela, we have different backend, what you call backend. So either some QPU, Askela, that has been released more than 1 year ago now. That is a 6 photon 12 mod, something like 6 qubit processor. We are about to release a second QPU that will be calling Altair with 8 photon 20 mod that will be something equivalent to 10 qubits. End of the year, we'll be releasing a 24 qubits QPU. And then we'll move to something else. So I won't go into detail of that, but the next generation of quantum computer will be very interesting. They will be using spin of the quantum dots that will allow us to go to kind of unlimited number of qubits and corrected qubits. At the same time, we have also a simulator, which is a GPU boosted simulator. So it's not free. It's only for pay access, but we'll give you free access to this simulator. And you can simulate up to 72 qubits today, perfect qubits. So it's quite interesting, and you can go make some very interesting algorithm with this backend. Perceval is also available on GitHub, and so there is quite a lot of activity there. And we have something like 20 contributors from Candela, but also from everywhere in the world that joined that. And I'm jumping into Perceval, so I will the way to import Perceval so it's a Python framework, so it's a package, so it will be installed using pip, and the way to install that to use that is importing Perceval as PCVL. So we are using PCVL, and I will encourage you to use that. So PCVL is a short namespace shortcut, and actually it reads like Perceval, peaceful. So it's very interesting to keep that. So it's a convention. You can take whatever you want, but we like in every notebook that you are producing, you are using Perceval, PCVL as the name of the framework. You can get the help on the framework online. There is a link with the documentation, and I encourage you to read the documentation. There is a lot of documentation. We have a team that is making a lot of notebooks. So please go through that. There is some package in my algorithm, in my Perceval sub package. This one. Most of the time, it's not important to know them, because we'll be using most of the objects that we'll be using will be in the main namespace. But it's interesting to have them in mind, because if you want to look at the source code, then you can find the source code. For instance, you'll be using today state vector. State vector, they are in utils, and then you will be getting to statevector.py. So if you want to get some idea on how it is implemented, or to get some extra help, it's interesting to know about the package through that. Then you have the version. So on my side, you can see that I'm not using the latest version. I'm using the 0.9 version, but you have to look at this link online, where you can see all the different versions. So today, the last version, major version, is 0.10.0 Avalon Island, and there has been 2 bug fix or small improvement that has been done as to 0.10.1 and 0.10.2. So we are using the versioning as a major version is the 1, and the minor version is the second number, and the last number is the build for bug fix, for instance. We are still at 0. The major version is still 0, and probably in a few months we'll be moving Perceval to 1 dot something version. And on this page, you have also all the documentation of what has been made. For instance, in the last version, we introduce different algorithms. For instance, we introduce tomography algorithm. And the tomography is the ability to make this type of analysis on the quantum state. And there is a notebook. So every time we are making major feature, there is a notebook that shows how it is implemented. So again, go through the documentation. Just a question, do you correctly see my screen when I show Safari?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So Perceval. So today we'll just be going through the main concept of Perceval, and that will be manipulating, starting tomorrow, in notebooks. So The main concept in Perceval is the basic state. A basic state is fog state, as I mentioned. So for instance, 0, 1, 2, 3 is a fog state when there is 0 photon in the first mode, 1 photon in second mode, 2 photon in third mode, and 3 photon in the last mode. So it's a 6 photon state where with 4 modes. This is also fog state with some annotation, what we call annotation. Then I'm putting 1 photon that is polarized horizontally on the first mode and 1 photon that is polarized vertically on the second mode. So this feature is mainly used for distinguishability. So most of the time you don't care about annotation, but if you want to make some circuit where you want to have some distinguishable photons just to simulate noise, for instance, then you can use annotation. Then the second object that you're using, the state vector. The state vector is based on the basic state, and it's the quantum state, basically, a full quantum state, a combination of quantum state. For instance, the square root of 2 over 2 0 1 0 1 plus 1 0, which is a Bell state. Here will be represented by a state vector in Perceval this way. We can have state vector distribution or basic state distribution. This is to represent mixed state. So you are taking state vector or basic state, and you are making probabilistic distribution of this state, mixed state. So for instance, here I have state with 50% probability of being 0, 1 and 50% probability of being 1, 0. It's not equivalent to this one. This one is probability amplitude. This one is probability. So it's a mixed state where my different states happen 50% of the time I will have 0, 1, 50% I will have 1, 0. Here I have a superposed state that will behave as a superposed state in whatever I do. And then when I will be measuring that state, it will produce me some SV distribution or basic state distribution. So it's more at the end that I will get that. And you have a last class that is basic state samples, that is just listing measurement of a basic state or state vector. You take a state vector and you make 1,000 shots, 1,000 sample. Then you get BS samples, because when you make a measurement, it's necessarily a basic state. It cannot be any more state vector. And it's the output of your quantum algorithm. It's something like that. So it's a sequential sequence of basic state. This. Something to keep in mind is that you just, when you will be going through the slide, look at the bold state, bold class. All the bold class as the one that you need to know. The one that are not bold are the one that are produced, the output of some operation, so you don't really need to build them manually. They will be built automatically. And feel free to check online help in your IDE. So here I'm using PyCharm. When I'm using PyCharm, I have automatic completion of when I'm writing some code. And you can see that I have some description of my class, my object, that is produced from the code. So we put a lot of online help in the code. So use IDE that is able to look at the online help. It will help you to make better code and to go faster in development. So some example, if I want to, here I'm building a basic state. So I'm building that from a string here, but I can build that also from a list. So my basic state of 0, 1, which is a fog state 0, 1, I'm displaying the number of photons I have in the first mode and the number of photons I have in the second mode. It's 0, 1, 0 and 1. Here I'm displaying the number of photons I have in my state. So the number of photons will always be .n. The number of modes will always be .m. So it works for all the objects in Perceval. .n is the number of photons, .m is the number of modes. So I have 1 photon, 2 modes. It is the state 0, 1, and I can convert my state to simply a list of photons each mode. I can make some operation on my basic state. For instance, here I'm multiplying, so it's the tensor product of 2 basic states. So if I'm taking 0, 1 times 2, 3, I'm building the state 0, 1, 2, 3, which is corresponding to this state, 0 photon in first mode, 1 photon second mode, and so on. I can make some, it's a tensor product, but it's expressed as a power of, if I want to multiply 0, 1 per 0, 1, it's make this state. I can make some annotation. So for instance, here I'm using the basic state with horizontal polarization and vertical polarization on the first mode and second mode. So it's building this state of light. I can ask the same way how many photon there is in my first mode 1, how many photon in second mode 1, and what is the Fock state corresponding Fock state when I'm clearing the annotation, it's the state 1, 1. So this is indeed 1, 1 plus 2 annotations. Then I can go to state vector. I can build state vector. So if I'm adding to basic state, it's building some Fock state, some state vector. Here, 0, 1 plus 1, 0 makes 0, 1 plus 1, 0 with some normalization factor here. 0, 1 minus 2, 3, it's making this state. So beware, so there is a self-normalization that's applying here. So here, why do I have one square root of 2 over 2 plus square root of 2 over 2? Because my state vector needs to be normalized. I need to have, so you are taking the this square, this is it's 1 over 2 plus square of this 1 over 2. So my sum of the square of my parameters is correctly 1. And it's the same here. The square of 5 over 5 is 1/5 is 1/5 plus 4/5, that makes 1. So you see that you don't need to care about normalizing your quantum state. It's automatically normalized as soon as you are making operation on it. You can make some sampling on the state vector. For instance, here I'm building a Bell pair 0, 1 plus 1, 0. And then I'm getting 10 samples, and my 10 samples will be here in my run. There will be 3 samples that will be 0, 1, and 7 that will be 1, 0. So it will be different if you do that on your side because it's totally random. But here you are measuring from a quantum state, so you get this distribution. You can measure a state vector. So the same way, so if I'm doing a partial measurement of the state vector, so here I will be measuring the first state, the state here. So it will build another state without the one, this state here. It will build, so it will tell me that when I'm doing my measure, I have a 1 with 100% probability, which is normal because there is always a 1 on the second mode. And the remaining quantum state will be 0, 1 plus 1, 0, which is a Bell state again. So this is a partial measurement of a quantum state that's reduced my state to a smaller state. And then I can continue. I can measure the second state. And if I measure the second state on this pair, I will have as a result 50% probability to get 0, 50% probability to get 1. And the remaining state will be the first state will be either 1 when I detect 0 and 0 when I detect 1. So it's trivial, but here it shows you the operation you can make on your first state. SV distribution. So I told you that it was a mixed state. So here you can put a SV distribution state vector. So I have 50% probability to get 0, 1, 50%, 25 probability to get the Bell state, Bell pair here, and 25% probability to get 1, 0. So this is the SV distribution. The second concept that you need to manipulate in Perceval is the circuit. So a circuit looks like that. So there is multiple ways to represent circuits, but the basic way is this circuit. So here I'm using components. So the components are there are 2 letters or 3 letters components. You have the full documentation of components on online. So if you go to documentation and you go to components, then you have all the components. BS stands for beam splitter, PS for phase shifter, permutation, wave plate, PBS, and so on. So you have all the components you can use. You have their representation, so different skin when you display them. You have the unitary matrix that you can that's the component is doing. So you have all the documentation there. Sorry, yeah. Yes, so you have some unitary components, the one that for which you can have some unitary matrix, and you have some non-unitary components. Non-unitary components are typically time delay. A time delay is not something that is unitary. One simple way to check if a component is unitary is if it is reversible. You know that any quantum operation can be reversed. A time delay cannot be reversed. You cannot untime. You cannot undelay some photons. Yeah, once it has been delayed, it has been delayed. The LC is lost channel. When you have lost a photon, you cannot recover it. So this one has non-unitary. You can use them in your circuit. Or unitary, it's these components. Most of the time, we'll be using beam splitter and phase shifter only. So here I'm showing how I can make some very simple circuit. So I'm building, this one is a circuit. It's a beam splitter. The second one is I'm building a circuit with 3 modes, PCL circuit 3 modes, and I'm adding on my circuit my beam splitter on the 0th mode, and I'm adding, actually, this is not correct. There should be comp BS dot add a phase shifter. So this should be this part. So there's a typo here, sorry. So here I've been adding, no, I've been adding phase shifter here, yes, plus a beam shifter that is missing, a phase shifter that is missing. And I'm adding it again on the first mode with this line and that display here. And then I can compute, I can display my circuit, and we'll be doing that a lot. And I can compute my unitary matrix of my circuit, which is there, which is directly obtained by from the circuit. The next concept to understand is the notion of backend. The backend is the thing that is doing the calculation, the quantum calculation at the end, and the processor. So we are providing different backends that is on the box so that they are used for multiple usage. Most of the time we'll be using Clifford and Clifford, and I will explain why in the next session. But you have also some perfect simulator, so strong simulator available. You have some approximate simulator, matrix product state simulator that is available that you can use if you want to make some larger circuits with some approximation in there. So backend is either hardware or specific simulation algorithm. So it can be Haskella, which is a QPU, or it can be the GPU simulator. A processor is putting a backend and putting all the logic around. So we are putting the source, we are putting the quantum state initialization, we are putting a backend, we are putting the encoding through ports, and we are putting Herald. I will show you what is an Herald. And the processor can be either local, if you want to do some local simulation, or remote, if you want to run that on the QPU. So an example is, for instance, these 2 lines that you can run out of Perceval directly is we are taking the CNOT from the catalog of components that we have in Perceval, and we are taking the processor of the CNOT, and we are displaying that. So you see that you have some circuit here. This is the circuit, and you have something a bit new. The 0 state here at what you call Herald. That means that this is mode that you are using, but where you are never sending any photons. So it is called Herald. So we are sending 0 photon here, and we keep the states at the output. So we make a post selection. Only there is a 0 photon in that mode, in this output mode. So this needs to be read as I'm sending 0 photon here, and I'm keeping the complete state if I'm 0 photon here. So it's quite intuitive. So it's making the post selection directly inside the system. And then I'm defining that I have some port here, some logical port. So that means that I will be able to encode some logical state directly on these two modes. So it's a CNOT gate. So this is my control port, this is my data port. And I can say that I initialize my state with logical state 1, 0. 1 means that I'm sending 1 photon here, 0 that I'm sending 1 photon here. And then in output, I have 2 ports too. So this is really the very high level view of a quantum processor with initialization of quantum states. Yeah, you have all the logic that is integrated. It is the processor. So Herald, as I mentioned, and logical ports that you have inside. And the rest is kind of normal circuit. Another big notion with Perceval is that we are using all the time is if you want to display anything, just use the PCL P display, P for pretty display of an object. So you can display a fog state, you can display distribution, you can display a circuit, P display. And this will show nicely with something like that. And depending on where you are, if you are on a Jupyter notebook, it will display as a SVG. If you are on IDE, it will display as using Matplotlib. If you are in a text terminal, it will use LaTeX text display. And if you are using, if you want to have some LaTeX output to make an article using Perceval, then you have some way to generate some LaTeX code. So very easy and very, very simple to integrate. And something to know is that you can, most of the time, you can work either symbolically or numerically. So numerically is, of course, the default and the fastest way. But sometimes you want to display not some numbers, but you want to display some real matrix. So this is a symbolic unitary matrix where you are using formula and not numbers. So if you want to get the exact unitary matrix for understanding, then use symbolic. If you just want to make some computation, then use numeric. So to install Perceval, we're almost at the end. To install Perceval, you need to create an account on, you can create an account on Candela Cloud and you will get access to notebooks there. So it's free. And it's very easy it's already configured. So every time we make a release, so there is nothing to do, everything is installed. You have access to documentation, notebooks, and of course to backends. You can use any notebooks you are used to, for instance, Google Colab notebooks. But for that, you need to install manually the library. So it's easy, but you need to have a Google account, and it depends on what you are used to. If you like to work locally, you can, but you need to install manually with pip, Perceval Candela. You have the full control of the operation, but sometimes you will have some problem because you have some conflict between libraries, you have some hardware issue, whatever. So whatever we do for the next session, I will recommend to what we'll be doing is that we will be give you access to this. So this is a Jupyter notebook environment online. So create your own account, John Doe at gmail.com. So the first time you connect, you put the password. There is nothing to do, my password. And you will get access to this notebook environment. So we keep that up for 1 month for all the session of the training. And you will be getting access to this environment. And it is what we'll be using tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So it's easy, it's free, and you will be able to get your environment and everything together for the rest of the training. So please create an account on cloud.candela.com. Please create an account on qjupyter.candela.dev. And please send me both the account ID and your name at this email so that we can enable you access to the GPU simulator. So you will have instruction in the slide that I sent, but basically I'm expecting some email like that. So, okay, my name is, my Contact Cloud user ID and my series ID is johndoe@gmail.com. That's all. Just send me that, and we'll be granting you access to simulator, GPU simulator, and so that we can work with in the next session with the powerful simulator. So please send me that. Ideally by tomorrow, we need access to GPU simulator on Friday. So the latest tomorrow to get access to GPU simulator. So this week, so we have been doing that one. Tomorrow we'll be going through Perceval tutorial. So step by step using state vector, circuit design, processor, local simulator, connecting to Connect Cloud, doing OHM circuit, checking CHSH, Bain inequality violation. So we'll be doing some very basic circuit, but so that you get use on how to use Perceval and get all the concept. It's very easy. It's just a question of doing it one. Then on Friday, we'll start doing GPU simulation. We'll be doing implementation of the permanent, so that we can have an idea of complexity of boson sampling. We'll be comparing boson sampling and backends, perfect backends, real backends, GPU. We'll be converting logical gates from Qiskit to Perceval, and we'll be looking at hybrid encoding that we'll be doing. And the next session, the next week, so it will be, I think in 3 weeks, there will be 3 new sessions, one with variation algorithm, one with the quantum toolbox of Candela. And the last one is that we'll be showing how we can solve end-to-end problem on Perceval on the cloud. And if you survive through this full cycle, then you will get certification on Candela first level. So I know it's quite long. It will have been in total 12 sessions. But you will be able to basically do everything you want, simple algorithm on Candela, on Perceval, run that on the cloud. There is a second cycle of training, so maybe we'll do that next year. I don't know, it will be something that we need to be discussing. That is doing advanced algorithm, that is doing what you call MBQC, measurement-based quantum computing with photons. But this is a second level of certification. I give you some links if you want to work a bit before the next session. So you can look at these notebooks. And I encourage you just to have a look. And thank you very much for attending today. And I will be ending my presentation at this here.
Okay, thank you, Jia. Let me just wrap up and highlight the point. I can share the slide that you shared, right?
Yes, please.
네, 제가 오늘 그 CPU님이 강의하신 강의 서류는 자료는 제가 Q센터 통해서 공유를 드릴 거고요. 밑에 말씀하신 것처럼 주피터랑 컨델라 클라우드에 어카운트 만드셔서 아까 그 슬라이드 덱에 있을 그 메일 주소로 보내주셔야지 저희가 GPU 쪽에 액세스할 수 있게 권한을 드릴 수 있으니까 내일하고 이제 모레하고 이제 강의 이제 원활한 실습 진행을 위해서 어카운트 생성하시고 이렇게 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 준비해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 오늘 참석해 주신 분들 감사드립니다. Okay, let's finish it. Thank you very
Is
much.
there any question on this?
혹시 질문 있으신가요? Anybody has questions? Oh, there are some.
So yes, definitely. So today we have only linear optics component in the system because we want to map with what we are doing as a QPU. Actually, there is a new version of Perceval that is being worked on where we are introducing non-linear components. And we'll probably try to make a merge also with continuous variable photonic circuits, because basically at the end, it's the same type of circuit. So stay tuned. This is coming. It's a bit complicated, so it's a major version of Perceval that will be released probably around June, where we'll be introducing these components. The thing is that technically they won't have any QPU implementation. So the first goal of Perceval is to program the QPU we have, and we won't have any QPU that is using nonlinear components soon, but it might come in the next year. So it's the reason why we'll introduce that in Perceval this year. But you are totally right.